This is Kessben 93.3 FM, a new wave of excellence in radio.
All right, Neil to get ready there.
Ready,
okay. Hello, Neil.
Fache. Oh, Sergio, fache me. Na kukuru no e we kire no doson, but my questions ni nyina no my ready. I'm at do na wa ha Sergio, fache me pa. Question no do na no I am sure say if I blaster ho and right performance done the bi mu busa the selection of the squad. E na ekomu e bi mu busa say John Pinson we able deputy alongside Lawman to coach Otto Addo. Now, man, for some further questions, and I said, necessary Joseph Pinson started, and I said, let's go with Bao, deputy captain in Naki Williams at the bench. Now, Fatau Shahaku, youngster, and they start all these questions put together, no, and I could give them. First of all, every selection, Biano, down to experiential knowledge, the knowledge you have of the opposition. One kasa won knowledge a team no so. Now o share so far a 9 for 9. O tuado a share a man for 9 goals. Ono so a ton goals ni nyina o concede 9. Ondo obi aka obi so neneka accountant for no can say we break even. Now o share so far 9 goals now we concede now. Almost about 6 different central defenders. And now do mo abo from Nigeria game in his second spell to the last game and now boy against Angola. Now, Oshe, the most consistent member of the backline, happens to be Jiku and then Salisu. Now, Jiku Amano, na Yebusa, and a pass 24 hours ago, na Sejo Busa say, why and the best partner Salisu as the right central defender of our team? Now, man, first Busa further questions. Why the baby is 6? Elisha also had his game, one of the best games. I mean, who say, ever since our Johnny. Now, I had no laterals, Tarek and then Seidu. Omoya Jumapa, but to complement that in the final third, Honan Komono, yes, starting. Osha your team in totality from Atizgi and Ra, or Biani Honma who Atizgi on the Zabon Tonet. Couple of quite some good saves be counting about or GA or Sevuya Pa. But Osha method now. Juma because so we keep comparing damage to football. Elisha also not Juma demand and say. Every time a Tarek be moving on Shenechi, say to move on Shenechi, but Oshe by default or no in 4-2-3-1 as a partner for Thomas Partey. Now a banner na a ha Kudus Mohammed because of drop paper deep. Now or joining attack na accolade. Going through the statistics, Oshenra game now 42% of possession from Angola. We keep saying set possession and yadina. Control of the spaces. How we bet me utilize those spaces in here no a camp cemetery. So ocean line up we are day a day and who ya uncle ye I will give no me the selection no. My question number 1 is say Antoine Semenyo say about born will give no more necessary coach I friend say Otto Addo or can be dictionary. First of all, how does Otto Addo know player friend say Jordan a uni profile? He is a mobility striker on Gina Falcon the born or bono. He doesn't serve as a focal point in terms of transitions, On Gina box moon ball. Jordan as a number 9 as a forward, he loves to run with the ball at his feet. So no, who in Naki Williams on person the ball never call no number 9 bia. On the ball to space na menkofa. But Jordan number 9 he loves to go with the ball. Kakra cannot come combination and answer was shooting at the end of the share. But another game no near here number 9 for no omugina box mu twan Therefore, playing Antoine Semenyo as a wide player instead of Joseph Pinson or some other winger from the selection point, it was erroneous. Ukomwa, Jordan Ayuni, Antoine Semenyo. First of all, let's think about the connection between these two players because one on the team is sharp and the tone can be for another game, any dynamics or try to make sure say defense was stability, but attack was very shallow. Shallow in what regard? Regard in the sense that connection between two attackers in a leading line now very, very poor and right. Until the most number of seconds. You born call Angola for defense. Born about Chapano, now you adjust about 5 seconds, 6 seconds. Now born free, so we couldn't sustain the attack very much. You call ya check. You never medical jomono, Nessa, until you call your 20 bantam. As soon as we transition to the final third, quickly, so watch the position of our 3 most offensive players. Now I'm going to say game coaches in there. This is Elisha Usu, she position or ball left back. And no nama Seidu Alidu Ababejina. Now Osha Elisha Usu there's always one thing I saw who FI 6 for no. Usually left back for the qua. Yeah, na hana about the house. So coach the catcher and say, when now you're partner for Thomas Partey in pivot 1, pivot 2. But as soon as Sedu moves, you become the new left back. 2 rows and what the man or any na. Mami highlighted in Finfi has said Tariq and I inverted Ababeshim because this guy is out wide and I'm at Tariq Ababesevo as a new partner for Thomas Partey. So who says systematically, coach, you know, yeah, the Tariq inside. Na Elisha Koshe, whoever or so say Eli so na Ebeba inside. I want say Tariq in echo, na Elisha no Ababeshe Tariq. So Elisha they know in Juma as a makeshift left back covering for the full backs, you know. Ntu show TV so a eno na a highlight fe e wo so no ye back four no de omo ho intact bia ha omo ba hwe ye mfimfin no free midfielders are close to Thomas Partey because Elisha Usu echo outward oko support Ali de Sedu okọ nanim na mo mali du kọ nanim akọ akọ ye de okotwen ball no ye hwe se ball ne kọ attack ebetimi akọ sustain and unsustain. We have a very good defensive balance, but ball do attack wa enche na free honmo. Now one sustaining more pressure and intensify moves in the final third the general over there create a series of chances our attack now would be at net. So defensively there is good balance, but to complete the whole setup no and Jordan ne and to semenyo omo profile no mienu no na emwa ye crack na otuado enyema mienu na nra mehwe game na ba metirim. So one, are you confident in his assistant teams? Na say assistant coaches no. Eka obetimi no ma discuss say Antoine Semenyo Jordan you omomwaye ba konko off even in the first half. Even in the first half. Why were they chasing the same pockets, the same spaces? Adan you place in no. Jordan you and then Antoine Semenyo omienu chasing the same spaces. Why did that happen? So who say la Shasa share the left back or who say no say do say do about but she midfield no obi o gina bia marking out. If you mark midfield out to say yeah call him fan. Yeah call attack because say do call ama Elisha be the new left back. We are going now. Omo be sustain your attack no. There is a tactical error. They don't really connect. There's a bit of disconnection between the two attackers. Jordan, by the mobility of Jordan, the profile no move, he wants to move around the box with the ball at his feet. And Antoine Semenyo there so on the out wide. So watch something very here. There was a long ball. Our brother close to 15 for you and I make catch no. Ya ball long ball na ba. Fatau and the baba fa ball no. Na komoya ye bedi to boase na bu so na enjoy because aha any lose game no. Obi say moving clearance no na your error na no. Our offensive attitude became a very vulnerable source to our defensive structure. Attack no a lackluster attack. Pressure be anim omi enu nyina na mfa akosa throughout. It's a long ball kwa ebu Isahaku. Ono na balance Tariq but just for the speed. Every 200 aba be hwe attack wo. Who say close to 15 Thomas Partey the partner Elisha man second row ye kwa attack. Where are the attackers? Fatau Dauda. Sorry Fatau Isahaku and HSC the long ball. Now open so man Isahaku long ball. Who nim say we no. Or no here that long ball no into spaces. And the team no we kept converting without the ball in 4-2-3-1. With Jordan are you in the central zones. Watch it critically here. Semenyo out wide. It looks very perfect by shape. On said double pivot no wabani natural habitat meka Elisha Usu waba Thomas Partey as pivot 1. A two shape na 4-2-3-1 fe. Na emu adwuma no a 12 one ye omo de ma ne esipo Elisha cover Tariq ni Sedu. There's a defensive balance at this game no. Now attack no that sustaining ball in the final third you know. I hona seven war. Now bridge no your method no. Didn't na bridge no abu no say Elisha ta soro ho na atwe kudus de na badechi. For the third time as we keep going this is kudus. Ba hwe omumi enu nie ye de ka bom din always Semenyo and then Jordan almost share the same spaces. They look for the same balls. Now you look focus in the final third who serves as a focal point. Into box to nobody no be our because the two most advanced attackers, you know, or Munyina no chase the same goal. It is what checking zone ha. We have very little numbers here. The risk nature of losing the ball here no is very high because Angola funny in our they've overloaded this zone, both the inner corridor and the outer channel. But BI loaded. Watch here. the half eight, and of course the lateral, the wingers. It will cry 2 strikers. I feel as some of your Dimmy but in Chepe and Jordan so. It is said you know Elisha and Juma Diamano said you advance, but said you are Mayashi. By Elijah, defensively or Yena Juma. Elijah was the most brilliant tactical player for Ye and Ra. Converting back in terms of offensive transitions, Elisha also as I drop your back. Actually, I say first, this is the 3+2 dynamics. 3+2 means you convert back for a year, but the new double pivot becomes Fatawi Sahaku and then Thomas Partey because on say like show Usu Aksha Babeshe Tarek or or attack. Or the chassis I show TV na see ha Tarek show. Said you said you namsoro na Tarek so ha but the Chihuahua the hall. Elisha Usu is the new left back. Sorry, right back. Tarek Chiamano. And nothing about Finfin, I'm a Fatawu Shahaku about the new double pivot. Partey becomes pivot 1. Replacement of Elisha. Shahaku becomes pivot 2. It's a quite before the ball. We had control and stability, but that was only on our defensive zone. Attack in the air. Do how born and chow Krabasabaha. It's here for a go. No, yeah, dominant in our defensive side and Crofuni team box room. Our setup is good. 2 laterals are being more covered more often. But O'Shea Finfian centrally is Hakuba or new opponent in a buyer. Thomas Partey similarly has also been covered. It's Tibani say I just say a column ball and I keep people no 2 short passing sequences. Crack. Add that one more space and have a double tour and sign a column ball. But I am saying, say, even you lose some ball no crowd hadn't run one near home you can understand the fact that Tarek or we are crowd, but Elisha covered good. So we had control here. But let's go into the final third. A Hona turn some in your bum, a Hona Kudus Edi bum, a Hona Jordan bum. But the most consistent error in our selection was the sheer movement of Jordan Ayew on the turn some in your the piano, not Omana Falco. Everywhere you see these guys, now Omubi no and I'm Falco. A piano out to you. And until I'm setting us and relax. Your game no need a goal, so they are 90 minutes. Me and you can go no better. Also, me and you now the same zone. It is all shall say Kudus in here. Kudus is against 3 players. Jet as a set striker and a chain defender and a back. Antoine is in 1-on-1 situations as a set of move, but these 2 forwards, they strikers, and we now was so. But I shall say, Kudus as against the Pamians and to a Jim one, I just will hear more. But the 2 strikers and a set creative space, they are looking for the same pocket, the same balls, the same passes. That is it. So one functions. Meanwhile, we lack personnel in the box. Focus in the box. A Basai attack, a slim, very poor, very marginal as a network, and yet we keep creating marginal and half chances because our focal point in the final third, are conflicted by profile, by movement, and everything. Watch the 2 players. You are always seeing them sharing the same spot. But Jordan movement and Hamikakra. To keep these guys, they're almost looking for the same ball. And it's really something. I repeated for almost that. Now, Antoine, some of you how many minutes? Jordan bought how many minutes? And if that error no game no more, na obi busa question afa. John Pencil can say in a chair utoado. Na lawman so can say in a chair no. Na impono wakano obeti ana ontie na or trust and a confidence no. Antoine Semenyo the crab no dem Jordan. And Jordan wants to give it back to Antoine Semenyo. To more national box. The disconnection was so apparent. The disconnection between the 2 strikers, it was so apparent. Both here, we have to attack and fire on the system and Crawford because some ball away. People say and Crawford delay tactics in the first 5 minutes. I'm saying no. Okay, so be a delay game no earlier. First 10-15 minutes into no but delay tactics. That's an ancient statement. It's an ancient statement. Or the dropping intensity of your home team, rather. Bobo na fans na badge so okoboko na no anti slow also Pedro on Pedro. It's a tactics to delay your intensity to retrogress the pressure na mountain. But when the team about winning game watch the timer of make your changes. This was the defensive base of the Angolans. 5 players in the last block, 2 holding midfielders protecting the block. A basaya and my penetration yet thing and my creativity just all shooting up at the crossroad. Why not change the Uraha? Why pass it with me a breaky? And no, almost too deep. Now, no attackers too, no sir, no air share the same area, the same zone one. Not just a hard juniper. Watch how close the 2 strikers are, Jordan and then Antoine Semenyo. Nobody serves as the focal point of the team. Every time Biana feels there's a good balance. It's a how could But the most pathetic thing to see here, they say, is Haku is out of the block and then Kudus is out of the block. Area na face, you know, and twice you want to mean Chini Pamiano, want to mean Chimi and San Fabo and Famba. He really dwells in the game, you know, a lot on the pace. And to one who said, defense, you know, a better semen the ball not connected Jordan. There's a huge disconnection. And when you watch how do we get into the box? And Tini a chair go, Baba Yara, Manfo Busa, commentators, you know, coach Bibi, at the end of the way, coach. But whatever we've been discussing was right from the 3rd minute of the game, the concept of the 3+2 dynamics. And the first 3 minutes of the game, no, I discussing. It told to be a necessary key players, and that was one moment that Kudus Mohammed drop it back deep. Now, because who Kudus run here? Kudus was an auxiliary attacker behind Jordan and then Antoine Semenyo, but by virtue of their movement and the collision in their profiles, Makudus not train the power. So watch it on the very recover ball. No, held on to the possession. Now at some point, Gelson Dalla and Freddie the captain, a moment pressure power, but still held on to the ball, keep it at his feet. I said no release it. I say yes, ball no. Okay, so it means defensive balance. No, now you can attack. Then we can also understand say 2 strikers in Yara, they were sharing the same space. It's a ball no cry abra abano. Kudu say kakra bedruha. This is Antoine Semenyo. Jordan is looking for the space behind Antoine Semenyo because a 1-on-1. Or you the freedom space where and the Jordan stay because born baba. Why are you going outside the corridor? He is already in the corridor. Or channel no the channel belongs to the winger. It will be 1-on-1 on the bebro. But Jordan is moving on that same space in Antoine Semenyo Sopeno. It could use a better ball now ball defense. A Chihuahua's Gideon be okay the movement patterns in our final third. 1 Emma ball on Chow. 2 Yentimin Kreti, Yentimin Rabox room. So Jordan Ababejran has say, no, what is he looking for? Because Bono is so beaten at the back, but Jordan is out wide. All these 2 players in the say attacking us. But from the assistant coaches, the decoding of the game is quite difficult. More difficult than say your selection. Ube decoding game means discussion and that was the move one. And these are the 2 strikers. They are sharing the same pockets, the same half space, the same 2 strikers, your technical team no. Until you can understand, say a higher power, a clear batch, you're the body bedroom attacker and check 4, 5, 6 seconds, then born free. How did that happen? But Kudus nya boy ni pamiensa, it's a hakunya boy ni pamiensa, 2 strikers in the movie, no money in Fako. For the second time, I'm showing you this in the last 10 seconds. Kudus has the ball in defense. Obabe Jibona Yedeko, Thomas Partey has been doing some good job by maintaining possession in a defensive third. But the movement of the 2 strikers in Inti, we don't have a focal point. Why does Jordan move that way often? Because when you say Antoine Semenyo, but you say Partey ya there waha or ya de pa. Obama chip passer on say ball no a Antoine Semenyo. Obama direct passer chances in here high, but a high risk. And only a Jordan. And no, and experienced players that could use, Partey or Jabo no dema Jordan because a content bebaha. The 2 had there said the Marpreco or the Jordan. But what's something? Our box lacked a fox against Angola yesterday. Our box, in the final third, they're toothless. So Jordan Farbon with his back to the goalkeeper. Meaning, as I saw a ball in Wojma. Now, Oshaya attackers now. I feel like Sahakune Kudus Waba. I feel like Tarek Mobedru. Box in one or Angola from Kwane or. And funny, you should go. You should no box room. A 2 keep on a car, Angola players in our box room. We are talking about 7 players in our box. Yet, Jordan attending and near the ball, the comma. But this was one of the saddest moments as a technical team can be. Shinipa you receive crosses, and what all along we've been discussing, the mobility of Jordan and the position of Antoine Semenyo conflicted throughout the entirety of the game. Now Jordan and Antoine Semenyo can't outside the box. She box no more receive crosses, Bakuya Tarek, Bakuya Kudus. Now check the red jerseys in the box. It's a attentive for one chain, or one ball cross up or box in the moment as I for Otuado, you were not getting a goal for us. By virtue of the choice of a selection, Antoine conflicted with Jordan. You should have been told from your bench. Straight. Now, when you're about first half of the Kwakwa American phone to complement Ali to say the marauding flanks and what they might and know how to move. We didn't have a man to complete it here to beat players 1-on-1, and then Jordan will stay in the box. Look, Jordan continued to move out. Kudus in a Tarek and a cross. Jordan Antoine Semenyo na ball crosses. Isn't this tactical crack in our team? But this is it. So Yebusa, he fanana go to be fraba. We are asking this question. You know, the share board and he fanana go to be fraba coaches. Now Otuado will changes amount for issues on in-game management amount for issues on each and every day. Biano the opponent continues to get more tougher. Osha Comoros more higher. Or other teams more higher. Watch the two players. Even side Alidu Abejabo or to attackers and Sano. Our three most advanced players against Angola and Ra was Kudus, Antoine Semenyo and Jordan. But Jordan me no there be on one chain. Kudus do about a late arrival. She said only Elisha ne pate nebo and only Jordan ne Semenyo nebo. Nemo only Elisha ne pate born more better. Now we are no obeboa we say more soro ho man say obeboa Antoine ne Jordan or soro ha. Na soro de na agiagu na ebasa. Etu bia no ogja ho no aba be fa ball no de ko o de do attacker na say ebasa. What was the systematic error here? It was the mobility of Jordan, special sharing of the two players. The Biano, they want to share the same spot. Did they monitor this at the technical bench? How did they decode the game? They didn't know who saying to me for ball in the box room. If you say discussion, I say, Joe, BM said last time, come on, breaking it down. How many times I say a shooty? I'm a keeper and a fat who I'm a Bayara, a shooty, yeah. In 2 seasons and Crawford, yes, some up a draw. They are not looking for a draw, but it's a means to keep intensity now. I'm not down. No, I didn't game no the amount. The two best are sorry started. These are the two players. And you Bayara was consistent, very, very, very apparent. And game they always looking for the same ball, the same channel 1 or 2 players in the room. Always, it was so bad, and that was the effective thing. Very, very effective. Make us say effective for Angola, very ineffective for it because Erenda could is useless in attack, effective in defense of Bomopa. But about attacker, 2 strikers and complementary Kudus. So Angola defense is free, keeper is free. At least the guy is free by virtue of the defensive structure. But opponent in the keeper they free by virtue of the shallow nature of our attack. You can kind of attack and your players, the coach chose them, gave them roles. Unya Elisha the any unya said you tarry the any now your 2 strikers now you want to poison you. They kept doing this. Coach, you never spoke of it. You never one year. Even people called for changes. Changes in the crown and tactical point. It was from the time game load was the man trying. People felt say the game load was too much. I mean, the load no so from other players saying I on the bench. But maybe the American idea, the tactical error was so visible. Why were they always in the same pocket, looking for the same ball? If the Kudus back midfield defense, I could ball. Next what I say. Our balls never lasted so much in the final third. We therefore never sustained our attacks. It you say keep on one to cry. But this is Baba Yara. Now you can Baba Yara de Shaye, Baba Yara de Shaye. France never your from do your part, do your job on the field. Now so we kept converting back into 4-2-3-1. Now my stability, now my solidity. We stayed very resolute. 2 no there. Oh, Elisha was my man of the match in the first half. Super performance. Absolute tactical discipline. Oba patenchen at the right time. No be 4-2-3-1. Why ain't perfect? Ali do koya, I know Ali do a chini, ball Ali do abaso. Tarek koya, I know Tarek a chini, about Tarek abaso. Elisha was my man of the first half. He did some good job. But they converted 4-2-3-1 attack, it was shapeless. 4-2 no Osha 1-0 the attack, Kudus. But the enemy Kudus call the attack, Jordan Semenyo sharing the same position even in 4-2-3-1. How did we decode the game to the coach? Our technical bench or mobile terrain as soon be mobile and Namobeka. A dear Nanamo catch the coach a fire attack in home. How many chances did we create in the first half? Nana saying Nana a bar am to me sustaining attack in the final third. Oh, you're freedom. Kessben a freedom the man. I freedom Mumra blaster. They are always causing the team in the final third. This is purely tactical. How are we going to score if this continues in the game? Now, Antoine Semenyo or ball how many minutes? And Jordan so ball how many minutes? They almost covered the entirety of the game. Meaning, say, Arrowway twice throughout the entirety of the game because in Naki Bayano, Nakasei, In Nike, unfortunately, so by the time and I game, I lose control from ye. Need control him. It's a bia who says I can and I say her because no so say obeja tareko could is beba late. Now who say bono omnana bono cran I say na yenye 2 strikers in a fit. So we are going in a way and a massive be attack and can't send the bread. Now look at how be very, very expansive. Jordan when the baby cry. Watch their body orientation. This is Antoine. This is Kudus. And this is Jordan Ayew. Watch your attack, you know. Very, very bad. Very, very bad. Go so you shall attack, you shall defense. And things give one turn, but opposition keepers so one turn. In long balls, in short passing sequences, we never sustain our attack. Okay, my speedy ball, no. Yeah, she never recover on the boy, but watch something because I want you to understand it was so pathetic. Say repeating on those patterns, you know. There are times you feel say, and turns when you drop here but deep or jack in a wider advanced zone or by the support. But the movement say sometimes a free attackers in a connected chance. This happens to be one of them. Antoine dropping deep, Jordan progressing the ball, but watch the final connection to Kudus. It never went. These are the 3 most advanced players in our team yesterday against Angola. Jordan are progressing. Kudus connection, it never existed. How were we going to score our goal? See. Technical team not disappointing. Fraud no pitch in the end of the so Franco Hiti trying further no questions. In the final third, we want to progress. We say Kudus abe the next option. We lost the 2 strikers at the ball. Thomas and Adeba no pressure on us. So in midfield, Freddie ready person can part to form. But watch, Kudus so Thomas Partey is under pressure here. But 2 strikers never supported that could be different zone. One can action on. But watch Kudus. Tibasa and Kudus in a pressure better so. Even receiving the ball with his back at the goalpost and cry yourself for. But we found a way and then Matt Tariq and a chasing long ball into the box because they're close to Kudus. Then Partey advanced in the passing, and Tariq Lamptey is chasing our final third boss. One who is a Hakudia, one who Tariq here. And commanding in say it would have been tough getting a goal yesterday. And the definition of tough here and say we didn't sustain balls in the final third. You call ya na a basso so na a yehu at the amaye. The air yen said, my main tune could be a goal this year. It was never down to any abdomen staff. He had his good game alongside Salisu. Salisu started bread from the 70th minute or so no cut to just 6 times. Every time one control no interest, no so cut to just rest. Ya shobona ya shemu attitude pa. Body corner, I cut 10 minutes. As I say attention, cost awareness, cost Shakespeare in Germany, Tama Rudiger, Diane, Mikel Merino had the ball on a so every time, ball no Bible career, pockets within the blocks become more larger, concentration in deep defense drops. Opposition no person winning game, or improve the performance. So, we share ball no at the time of Pedro Gonçalves, or they 5 minutes to so any changes, and Rani I can say they have 2 strikers, one of them is Mabululu Amadia, Zini Nebabo, Ambrosini Antonio. Salvador, he is a striker number 9 jersey. Watch time a coach in the Bible. He saw say Salisu are dropping intensity, or dropping the condition in our back form. He also felt say I'm moving as a partner. There's a bit of miscommunication. What were we doing? Yeah, lot traditionally said we are running sir and Fabi Papa Biama. So this was the first one in the back box to have clearance and I was a recycle ball. Then there was another tackle. Also, I'm almost sustaining ball. 2 different situations you saw already. This is the 3rd recycle after Obia box room. We defended for 2 consecutive times at the right channel, and some more recycle 3rd one at the other. Look, everybody was down in the box. We needed some fresh legs out there, but I am sure Otto wanted to chase the game. But coach Pedro Gonçalves was also chasing the game, except not the game management. Not a good. Now if you call. So no opponent to be born from first half or delay 30 seconds or Pedro. What intensity no all general. Who shoot it and match it as synchronized with the fans. Na synergy no bape or komoko no nante or to throw no nante. Auto Ado, what is going to be your plan in next away game? So one for plan be madia pressure be about coach. You had you have a very good coach, George Boateng, as your assistant. It didn't go as we all planned. People said a lot about changes. Okay, coach. Against Portugal, Andre, and then Kudus Ebamu, you go now, and I'll show free while dropping your intensity. No? And the players are so my own whatever. We had to restart Bukari and then Jordan against Portugal, coach. At Babaya, at some point near Huru Jordan, because the Huru the fans. While called press conference said, Ujitum, you accept the blame. Then ran to swear and turn some and Jordan. What did they do, coach? You said at the press conference, said, Oba share a lot of the clips. I am sure game, yes, your clips, he can't be a there. Coach, for post-mortem, the call reflected in the next game, no. Because George Boateng and me and wow, their coach, John Pinson and Loman, they should really up their game. Now, Bono, you're bossing why mention John Pinson as a player. But or the depth knowledge or the best support because we all our mobile that, but the knowledge in the game, you know, is surreal. So John Pinson is he up there in terms of the game decoding? Said yeah, na Ignatius Moyama kwasi apia iya ono so di coach baby a obi amechiao. Enu bi na John Pinson ya na coach Otuado. What are we seeing? Yeah, one no door so the 4-3 a card na car for game free SM last time. At your fortress. Ya chomo kumasi imagine say Cape Coast. Imagine say Yakra. Coach, do something in your next away game. It was the error from the selection, error within the roles. In the final third, we were toothless. We have stability in the defense, but going into over that can for defense and keep a clean sheet. But to me, they did some absolute job. We'll be back here once again with Coach Otuado. Okay. How I prepare for away game, you know. But for now, no. Me call me boss or no me judge the man. Friday is the questions in the two until set. Best signing out. So Joe.
All right. Newton Latte Marijata. Yenasi na questions no nyina na megidi pa se wo ye ho adwuma e de ama for